The physicians say that some people have a genetic tendency because of the illnesses that our parents have had to be more prone to have those illnesses. Well, you ever read these forms that say, have your parents ever had heart disease? Well, here's a big waking hypnosis suggestion, isn't it? Well, if your parent has heart disease, well, you're going to be you better watch and get tested a lot. Well, that's possible. But if there is a genetic connection, then maybe there's a genetic connection to cancer. Maybe, I don't know. This is things we'll have to explore. Maybe there's a genetic connection to memory. Maybe past life memory simply comes from the genetic past life cell in our genetic makeup. These are things we need to study and understand more. Psychosomatic. Psychosomatic. Could cancer possibly in any way be a psychosomatic illness? Well, if you nod in your head yes, you're going to have a lot of people out there who are going to call you some very strange names. But they always do that to people that are out in the forefront. So that's okay. Psycho means mind. Soma means body. The thought process of the mind creates a physical manifestation in the physical body. Well, there's many, many diseases or problems we can have that are diagnosed as psychosomatic. So I think as we go moving down into the future, we will discover as we learn more and more, many things might be psychosomatic. And again, I want to start this class off by saying, for the record, you should never work for somebody with a cancer problem or any medical problem unless you're working under the direct referral of a qualified medical practitioner who is licensed. Okay. So the causes, possibly psychosomatic. Many times that might be the probable causes, we'll see. How about waking hypnotic suggestions by you to you, rather than from somebody else toward you? Could that be a possibility? Remember the mental law we teach in class, gang. Remember the primary one. What the mind expects to happen tends to be realized, doesn't it? Well, you know, it was very interesting. My father had a heart attack when he was 49 years old. My brother used to tell me, when you're 49, you're going to have a heart attack. My doctor up there in New Jersey at that time, Dr. Jacob, said, Jerry, you better watch yourself about 49. That's the real dangerous age for having heart attacks. And I didn't let him down either. That was the age when it happened, you see. And that might have been all waking, well, I'm sure that was waking hypnotic suggestion in that case to a large degree, possibly to me. But what was I saying to myself as I kept getting closer to 49? And I can remember saying it. Geez, I wonder if I'm going to have a heart attack when I'm 49. Geez, maybe I'm going to have a heart attack when I'm 49. Gee, I'll be disappointed now if I don't have a heart attack at 49. What are our standard cancer treatments that are available to us today as if we were doctors or anybody else? Surgery, there's the good one, huh? Cut it out. Cut it out. Louise Hay, I don't know if any of you ever studied Louise Hay, but she had cancer. And she made the statement that, yeah, many times you can cut it out. But if you don't cut out the reason why it happened, you're really just delaying the inevitable. And I believe that's true. I really, truly do. So you can cut it out, or you can, nowadays there's a better way to do it. In some cases you can laser it out. That's better. You can do radiation therapy, can't you? Chemo, suppositories now, radiation suppositories. That's an interesting concept. And diet, vitamins, these type of therapies are coming online. That's pretty much the way we've handled dealing with cancer medically throughout history at this point. Just to diverse a little bit with hypnosis and cancer, to show you the the enormous, how fear can hurt you so bad. Absolute fear. One of my first instructors, many years ago, and I'm not going to date myself, but it was back in the 60s, was a fellow from New Hampshire by the name of Vic Carnella. And I was a poor waif of kind of a kid back then, and he took me under his wing, started giving me a couple hours of hypnosis training, and we got to be pretty good friends. Anyway, we were very close over the years. When I was teaching class down in Fort Lauderdale in the wintertime, Vic would always make an excuse to come on down and visit with us, which was fine by me. And I'd have him come to class and show my students some of the things that he could do. Anyway, his wife calls up one day and she says, "Jerry, I got bad news. Vic has lung cancer. Would you work with him?" I said, "Absolutely. Get down here right. When can you be here?" She said, "Tomorrow." I said, "Fine. Get on the flight. Let's get going." He came down. That night, we're all sitting in my living room. We just had a little dinner, and it's the four of us, my wife and his wife and him and me. And they're all kind of looking at me like, when are you going to do something? Finally, I said, "Vic, come on, let's go back in the bedroom and let's go to work." And I've had quite a bit of experience, by the way, with dealing with lung cancer victims. Anyway, I laid him out on the bed, got him all snuggled in, nice and comfy. I know he loved the Elman induction. We both did. We used to do it to each other all the time. I said, "Okay, Vic, take a nice long breath, fill up your lungs, exhale, close your eyes down, and let yourself relax." And his eyes kept popping open. I said, "This doesn't make any sense. He's closed his eyes for me many times before." So I said, "Let's do it again. Long, deep breath, fill up your lungs, exhale, and close your eyes down." And it was. I did it a third time. And I started to say, "What's going on? I've done this induction with you many times before, and you with me." And then I started to say something else, and it hit me like a lightning bolt. I said, "You never went into hypnosis those times, did you?" And he said, "No." I said, "And you're scared to death of it, aren't you?" He said, "Yes." Now here's a man that was in the work for about 20 years. And himself was never really in hypnosis. And he was more frightened for some reason about hypnosis than he was about that cancer that was destroying his lungs. So I said, "Vic, you know, if you don't allow this, there's nothing that I can do for you." He goes, "I know." He says, "I can't do it." A month later, he was dead. And that was the end of it. But sometimes people would rather. The fear of death is not as powerful as the fear of hypnosis. And that is a strange lesson that I learned back then when I was working with him. And, you know, you find that even, you're going to find it with your people, and every once in a while it's going to happen. You know, fear of loss of control. Well, to me, death seems like the maximum loss of control. Of course, I don't have any idea what happens next, but whatever. Some cancers have what we call a spontaneous remission, don't they? For no apparent reason whatsoever. They go away. It disappears. It's not a cure, certainly not called that. It's called a spontaneous remission. Again, it's amazing when these things happen. Sometimes they happen for reasons, though. Reasons that I believe are causal effects. If people talk to other people about, well, you know, we can have a spontaneous remission sometimes. These are waking hypnotic suggestions, and if the people hold on to this belief system, by God, they can let that mature and grow and compound inside their mind, and is the possibility that waking hypnosis brings on spontaneous remission. I don't know. I'm not walking away from it.